Come on. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. Wow. Hmm. In an hour. Maybe.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy. Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but not so doggone seasoned that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
and young enough to do.
well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you. But it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy,
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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who brings the job a fresh new point of view. Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you. Cause it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Kennedy, Kennedy, Kennedy.
And do you deny to any man the right he's guaranteed to be elected president, no matter what his creed?
It's promised in the Bill of Rights to which we must be true.
So it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you. And it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Kennedy, Kennedy, Kennedy.
Do you like a man who answers straight, a man who's always fair?
We'll measure him against the others, and when you compare, you cast your vote for Kennedy and the change that's overdue. So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you. And it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Oh, microphone is always excellent. Microphone helps a lot. Now, I do this 3 times a week. You would think I would be. I got so much I got to do when I start, and I can't do it hours ahead of time. I can't share the program out over Facebook hours and hours ahead of time because there's nothing there to stare at. Got to kind of push it right up to the end, and then I get to a point where I'm supposed to say hello to you, and I don't have the mic in front of me. But all of that said, welcome from my humble second bedroom here in the Saucon Valley, part of the Lehigh Valley, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, part of these United States, Western Hemisphere, North American continent, on this planet Earth, the only one we have. Third rock from the sun in the Terran solar system, part of the Milky Way galaxy. This is the Kennedy Effect, live with you for Sunday, February the 2nd, 2025, Groundhog Day. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, so that should be 6 more weeks of winter. However, if you have ever seen the absolute, complete, bloody circus that is Groundhog Day in Punxsutawney, you will know that with all of the cameras, television cameras and photographers, et cetera, around, it would be pretty much of a miracle if Phil did not see his shadow, in which case, I think they just kind of pick out of a hat, or they flip a coin or whatever the heck it is and decide whether it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter or not. This poor, semi-domesticated groundhog, I can't really speak to what kind of life he actually has, but it doesn't look like much to me, to be honest. If you've ever seen when they hold him up on the stage there and he's kicking and scratching and feverishly trying to get away from all these people in their Monopoly style suits and sashes and top hats and whatnot. But anyway, that's perhaps a different story for a different day. Well, maybe it's not a different story for a different day because there's only one Groundhog Day a year. Today was it. But anyway, supposed to be 6 more weeks of winter. I should say, probably, if you believe the old legends, Phil was probably correct because it is snowing outside right now as we speak. Here in the Lehigh Valley, we're expecting about an inch of snow tonight. Nothing too crazy. Could even be less than that, coating to an inch. But that would certainly indicate 6 more weeks of winter, wouldn't it? Let me get to the business end of the program. You are listening to, watching live, the Kennedy Effect live with you for Sunday, February 2nd, 2025. We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Hot101.net, the TCP Media Group, Our Revolution Pennsylvania, and Ghost Claw Productions. Of course, my Facebook page, Jeff Kennedy, and of course our home group Facebook page for all things that surround this program. Grammar. Let's try to do grammar. That would be good. That surround this program, That Other Side of Information. That's also the name of our YouTube channel, where we are live right now, youtube.com/That Other Side of Information. We're live on Twitch right now. Jeff Kennedy, just look for me. You will find me. I still, as I have said, don't know if it's Jeff R. Kennedy or Jeff Kennedy Talk Host. I think if you find either on Twitch, you will find us. We're live on LinkedIn right now. Jeff Kennedy as well. You can find me on LinkedIn. The audio of the program blasts around the globe on two internet radio giants. One helped build the industry, and one, we're the new kids on the block. Hot101.net, our name is our web address. If you have never listened to us, you should be. Hot101.net, our name is our web address, but you don't need the web to listen. You can use our apps, Apple App Store for Apple devices, Google Play Store for Android devices, and all types of devices can use the Tune In Radio app. Go up to the search bar, type in Hot 101, you will find us there. If you can connect to the internet with any type of device, desktop, laptop, tablet, you name it, phone, you can Bluetooth to speakers, earbuds, headphones, all of it. You can connect. You can listen to us at hot101.net. You can also listen to us at gcpr.live, gcpr.live, the newest global internet radio sensation. You have one of the founders in Hot 101 and one of the newest in GCPR. It's really nice bookends here on our program. We're honored to be part of both radio stations, hot101.net and gcpr.live. Let's do crick there. Let's crick. That's wrong. Let's try that again. Let's do quick programming information for you. We are only on until 7 p.m. tonight. I must fulfill my elected duties as a state candidate for the Pennsylvania Democratic Party. And I have a meeting tonight from 7, so we will be with you for about 50 more minutes. And then I have to get into my meeting. We return Tuesday evening from 8 p.m. and Thursday from 8 p.m., barring anything unforeseen. Good news is that our weeknight program, TKE Tonight, the Kennedy Effect Tonight, short anagram thing. It's supposed to be cool and easy to remember. I don't know if it's working that way, but that's what we're doing anyway. TKE Tonight will now be heard on hot101.net on Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. So not just Sundays does the poor hot101.net family and audience have to put up with me. You now get to put up with me 2 more nights a week. So our weeknight program will now air simultaneously on all of our social media video simulcasting platforms, as well as gcpr.live, but also now, again, our hot101.net family. Our Sunday family is now going to be able to join us on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're very excited about that. Really, genuinely excited. That's just cool stuff. We've been, hot101.net gave us our start in radio. Outside of the prototypical social media places, they gave us our chance, and we owe them a lot. We're proud to be part of that family, and it's exciting that we'll be able to now join the hot101.net family 3 days a week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, just like on GCPR. And I have had people very, very politely, nobody ever did this to me in a nasty sort of way, like, well, how can you promote both radio stations? There's a lot of hours in the week, folks. There's a lot of hours in the week. Sometimes you don't want talk radio. Sometimes you want great music. And that's when you go to Hot 101. And other times you want talk radio. You want interactive talk. You want to hear about the things that we're talking about on GCPR. So you come over and you do that. There are plenty of hours in the week to support both stations. I strongly encourage you to do both. And by the way, you can listen to both completely free. Completely for free. Hot101.net, I told you, at the website, apps, and all that. GCPR, find our website, gcpr.live, and you can listen to us live right from the website for free. And I beg, I guess I kind of sort of beg you. I guess you say that, it doesn't sound very good, but we invite you. How about that? We strongly and respectfully invite you to join us at gcpr.live and listen to us there completely for free. I feel like I am forgetting something. Something else that I was going to say. Oh, some good news. Some good news for the program. I have an itchy nose, so I'm either going to kiss a fool or get in a fight. Anybody ever hear that one before? That's a really old one. I'm dating myself with that, but supposedly when you have an itchy nose, you're either going to kiss a fool or get in a fight. Well, I hope I'm not going to get in a fight because I'm the only one in the room. So if I do get in a fight, it's kind of going to look a little strange. It's going to look like I'm not really completely with it. We do have some good news. And that would be some good news for the radio program. That is a brand new 2025 iMac desktop. Yeah, I am not using it currently because I only picked it up today. Did not have time to get everything set up. I don't have all of the equipment that I need quite yet. Excuse me, I'm so sorry I keep sniffling. To get it running. But the good news is we have it. Brand new computer here at the Kennedy Effect. I'm hoping that by next Tuesday, not this coming Tuesday or Thursday, but the following, we will have everything up and running. Because I will have to either bring George to the house or it's going to be one mighty long FaceTime call as we hook everything up and get everything going. So anyway, that helps us with that. Let's get into the program, shall we? Phone line is open, 267-227-9189. 267-227-9189. 267-227-9189. The phone line is open. Very happy to see Donna here. Donna left me a very cryptic message a couple days ago that she was going to be tuned out of the program for quite a while. Now, anything personal is absolutely none of my business. And I mean that with all sincerity. Not because we don't care, but because it's genuinely our business. But I'm glad to see Donna here. She sends us a hearty congratulations and happiness that we actually were able to purchase some new computer hardware. Thank you, Donna. It means a lot to us. Part of that help, of course, came from our GoFundMe, which I will now shut down. Done now. We did it. It's also a computer that Kristen can use, so we can kind of shift around some of the expense that way. And the good news is it's here. I want to give a shout out to, and I mean this with all respect, wherever you might be listening to us around the world or anywhere in the United States. I know that you're probably not going to travel here, but there's an Apple store in the Lehigh Valley Mall in Whitehall. And a wonderful, wonderful person there, Amy, who took care of Kristen and I getting this computer. She listens to everything, answered every question, listened to exactly what we were going to use the equipment for, and said, "This is perfect for you." And I think the most impressive thing that she did was to not oversell us. We didn't have the money to spend the $4,000 more that we could have, but we entered the store convinced that that's what we had to do, and she used all of her expertise as it deals with other creators and other streamers and so on and so on, to say, no, you're going to be good with this. You don't have to spend double or triple the money. You do have to spend money, but you can spend this money, not that much, and then you should be golden. And I think we will be, and I think that's a very rare thing today when someone doesn't try to sell you something that you kind of really don't need just for the sake of the money. And she helped us get picked up everything today and actually purchased some additional items for Kristen, and just everything went great. And if you're within 50 miles of here, or even 75 miles, because I think the next Apple store from the Lehigh Valley is probably somewhere in Jersey, 50 plus miles away, or maybe in the Philadelphia area. If you're anywhere around here and you need something from the Apple store, and there's still, a great space left for brick and mortar places where you can walk in, see things, test them, look at them, see how heavy they are, how they might fit on your desk, use some of the software, get a real feel for it. There's still a place for brick and mortar stores. I wouldn't have done it any other way. But if you're within 50 miles of here and you need something from an Apple store, please go see Amy at the Apple store here in the Lehigh Valley. It is worth the trip. They have great staff there, a nice little store. I've been in some really huge Apple stores around this country. Some of them are just showpieces. This is a very normal, comfortable little store, and they help you, and they help you, and they help you, and they help you. So, little shout out to her, such as it is. I hope that you will go if you need anything at the Apple store. Ask for Amy and tell them that the Kennedy Effect sent you. Let's get into the business. Let's get into the meat of the program. If you read the header for the program, you will know what we put there. And that is, of course, that Elon Musk, through his illegal, semi-governmental, quasi-governmental agency, has gained access to the Treasury Department's payment system. Now, why would he want such a thing? I suspect for two reasons. One, wants to know where the money's going. It will help inform him as to how Trump can cut taxes more for billionaires, as he attempts to label some of this spending as frivolous. Tesla was started before Musk bought it with a $500 million government loan. But I suspect Mr. Musk didn't mind that spending. I suspect he doesn't mind the tens of billions of dollars that are being funneled to SpaceX through NASA as the privatization of space continues, something that should not be in private hands, by the way. So I think there's that. He can see where the money's going. And he can see then how to further route some of that money to himself and his companies. He can gain advantage over competition, gives him insight into all government contracts. He also gets to see what your Social Security check might be, how much money you might be getting from Social Security, how much your Medicare benefits, how much Medicare is reimbursing you, how much money families, I was going to say needy families, but that doesn't, I don't know if that's really the most modern PC term to use anymore. How he gets to see what kind of money is being sent to hungry children so they can eat. He also gets to analyze that payment system. Let's remember, Musk made his first fortune as a co-creator of PayPal, a money transfer site where you could do payments, and that's really what it was. You could send money from one person to another. You could pay bills with it. I wouldn't exactly call it an online bank, but really more of an online electronic payment transfer system. And that might not even be the standard term for it. It's the term I'm using. And of course, every transfer, he takes a few pennies or a few bucks if it's a bigger transaction. He takes off the top, and that's how he made his first billion. And so now that he knows how the government pays bills, he could very well try to get the government to use PayPal for such things. And then he can take even more money on top. See, here's the funny thing about billionaires and government spending. They don't want any government spending because they don't want to pay taxes. And they don't just want their taxes reduced, they want it eliminated. They think taxes are something that poor people should pay because, after all, we're the ones that use the government. The ironic part of that, the hypocritical part of that, is that these billionaires can't wait to get their hands on government money. When banks were going to go under, they went to government to bail them out. When the auto industry was going to go under, it went to government to bail them out. When Walmart needs a new access road to a distribution center or needs a new stoplight out in front of one of its stores, they go to government. When Walmart workers can't afford to feed themselves because Walmart doesn't pay them enough, those workers go to government for SNAP benefits. Billionaires seem to think that government spending is convenient when they're the ones that receive it. The rest of us, not so much. And now Musk knows exactly how that payment system works. He knows who's getting the what. He now knows, I think, Randall gets Social Security. I believe he does. I believe he has said that to us on the air before. And if I'm wrong, he'll tell me. And if he doesn't want to talk about it, he'll tell me that too, because to be honest, it's none of our business. Musk now knows exactly how many dollars a month Randall receives in Social Security. And he knows how those payments are being processed. He also now knows what the income is needed for the federal government to fulfill those payments. I mean, what the hell could go wrong? Elon Musk now knows everything that you get from the federal government, insofar as payments, whether they are Social Security, Medicare, SNAP, perhaps a military pension, VA reimbursements. Perhaps you're a small business who received a small business loan. He now knows those payments. He has gained access to the Department of Treasury's payment system. Maybe you're a huge defense contractor that has a contract with the military worth tens of billions of dollars to build ships or fighter jets. He now knows how they are getting paid. Folks, let's not make a mistake here. And this is not hyperbole. This is what oligarchy looks like. This is what oligarchy looks like. Antoinette mentions in the chat that Musk now has all of the personal information that surrounds these payments. Correct. He now has bank account numbers, savings account numbers, checking account numbers for people like Randall. If I was receiving unemployment, he would know that and what bank it was going to. He knows all of that now. We've talked on the program before, especially when the TikTok ban was hot, was a hot topic for, about a hot minute. We are data as human beings. We are not human beings in the traditional sense any longer. I've told you before, there's only really 3 types of human beings any longer in the eyes of billionaires. Only really 3 kinds, he said, 3 types. And I really actually need to amend my original thesis about the 3 remaining types of humans in the eyes of billionaires, 2 of which are still exactly the same. You either create wealth, one type of human being in the eyes of a billionaire, you create wealth for the billionaire through your labor. You work for them. So through your blood, sweat, and tears, through your labor, you generate wealth for the billionaires by promoting, producing, providing the good or service that they sell. Second type of way that you can provide wealth to a billionaire is through your consumerism. You purchase that good or service being provided by the billionaire or the billionaire's company. Then there's a third type. A type who does neither of those 2 things, in which case you're not generating wealth for a billionaire, and they would just assume that you died because they consider you to be a suck on the system. You're old and maybe you're sick all the time. You're soaking up all kinds of Medicare benefits that they don't want to pay taxes to support. So they would just assume that you died and got out of the way and made more room for somebody who is generating wealth for them. Except that there's that third type of person, really, and this is where I think I need to amend my own thesis, if I should call it a thesis. Maybe that's not even the right term for it. Is that third type of person who can no longer provide labor and who does not have the means to be an avid consumer, or perhaps anything above a subsistence, oh wow, I can't even talk, a subsistence level consumer, meaning you can only afford to purchase what you need to stay alive and nothing more. So you're not really generating terrible amounts of wealth for any billionaire. But you are still yet a commodity because your data is a commodity. Even poor people have devices, right? Even poor people have devices. And we use these devices for social media. And every time that we do a like, a subscribe, a share, a dislike, an angry, a caring, a follow, a share, I think I said share twice, that's all data. And it's all marketable. Excuse me. It's a commodity to be bought and sold. It's a commodity to allow corporations to develop marketing strategies. So even those of us who no longer can work, provide wealth to the billionaires through labor, or who can provide it through our consumerism, we do still have a very passive way to provide wealth, and that would be through our data and the data that we generate. Well, Musk now has access to all of that as well. Not because he necessarily has your Facebook login or whatnot. The Treasury Department wouldn't have any of that. But the data of you, what benefits you may or may not receive, well, really that you do receive, because we're talking about processing payments. He knows that Randall mentioned in the chat. He now knows what your tax refund is, or at least your 2023 tax refund. He will know your 2024 tax refund if you've gotten a refund at all. He now knows all of that. He now has the commodity of data for arguably every man, woman, and child in the United States. And not only citizens, by the way. But residents, people with green cards, students, government-backed student loan payments go through this payment system. He knows Pell Grants, such as whatever's left of them. He now knows all of that. So this is what oligarchy looks like. After a show reset, we're going to tell you what fascism looks like. 6:35 Eastern Time. We're with you for another 25 minutes, a short Sunday show, because I have to fulfill my duties as an elected committee person. Randall will understand completely. I have to fulfill my duties. So that comes up at 7. So I need to leave you at 7. Short Sunday show, but we will return Tuesday from 8, Thursday from 8. And the good news, if you didn't catch it at the beginning of the program, especially, I think George wasn't here for this announcement at the beginning, our Tuesday and Thursday editions of TKE Tonight are now going to be heard, in addition to all the places that we already were, now going to be on hot101.net. So you can now hear us 3 times a week on hot101.net, just like you can on gcpr.live and most, if not all, of these social media outlets. Following us from 7 p.m. on Hot 101, the music returns. On GCPR, you got a break. Get some ice cream, walk the dog, watch. I don't know why you would watch the NFL Pro Bowl, but maybe. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. To be honest with you, I'd watch the Caribbean Baseball Championship Series on MLB Network. It's much better. Whatever you got to do. 8:30 the pre-show starts. 9:30 the show kicks off in full drive. The Villain's View from 9 p.m. on GCPR Live. Conversations with T. Nathan from 11. Thomas kicks off your broadcast work week tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. and that's here on GCPR. We will return Tuesday evening from 8 on GCPR and Hot 101 and all of these social media outlets. You are watching us live, the TKE Tonight, for the 2nd of February, Groundhog Day 2025. We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Our Revolution Pennsylvania, the TCP Media Group, Ghost Claw Productions, and hot101.net. We are live on my Facebook page, Jeff Kennedy, and our home group Facebook page for all things that surround the Kennedy effect. That would be That Other Side of Information. That Other Side of Information is also our YouTube channel. We are live there right now. 3 whole people watching us on YouTube, but to be honest with you, it's more than normal. I hope that you, whoever is watching us there at YouTube, say hello. Drop something in the chat that I can see so I can say hello to you. I'd love to know who you are and where you're watching. Where geographically speaking. I'm having trouble with multi-syllabic words this evening. We're also live on Twitch, Jeff Kennedy Talk host. We are live on LinkedIn, Jeff Kennedy, as well. We've shared the program to, I think, about 100. No, I got cut off before the number of places I could share this evening. I got cut off. So I can't exactly tell you how many places I made it to. I'd love to be able to tell you. Don't honestly know. I'm going to try to look it up right now. Shared to 18. I don't think that's quite right. I did get stopped, so I think that might be part of the problem. I got stopped. So I'm not exactly even sure how many places we shared the program to be perfectly honest with you. I don't even know anymore. I just do not know. I wish I could tell you that. I think it's more than I think it's more than I think it is. But regardless, and I could try to finish, and I think I'll get blocked. But wherever you are taking in the program, any of the what is normally 100 places on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, anywhere that you GCPR, Hot 101, wherever you are taking us in, thank you. We couldn't do it without you. Good news for loyal listeners. We got a new computer. I'm hoping that George and I can have everything up and running by Tuesday. Wait, today's the second, Monday, the 4th, 4 and 7, the 11th would be my hope to have everything up and running. To all of you who helped us out with our GoFundMe, I am eternally grateful. Thank you very much. It helped a lot. It helped way more than you might think. You did really help, so thank you so much. New computer coming. We need a couple. I had to order a separate piece. It's coming. That should be here actually tomorrow. And then George, I'm either going to have to go pick him up, and he loves when I drive him around. Desperately enjoys driving with me. And then not so much. I'm being sarcastic. Or it's going to be a really long FaceTime call. But new equipment is purchased and in the house, literally. We just have to get the old girl up. The new girl, I guess I should say. The young lady. The old girl's right in front of me. We have to get the new young lady working right in front of us within the next week to 10 days or so. But good news. Good news. Let's get back to the program. So we've outlined for you what oligarchy really looks like. Now we're going to take the next step, because this story is all connected. We will take the next step now and show you what fascism looks like. As you know, I have mentioned to you all many, many times that the transition of the United States from small d democracy to oligarchy and fascism is complete. I think that's done now. I don't see much, if any, remnants of the small d democracy that we knew left. I think that transition from oligarchy to fascism, from democracy to oligarchy / fascism is done. The next transition is already underway, and that would be from fascism to feudalism. So when we talk about Musk gaining access to the Treasury Department's payment system and all the data that surrounds it, that's oligarchy. That's rule by the rich. In this case, rule by the richest person on the planet, or at least richest insofar as it can be calculated. I think there's an excellent possibility, by the way, the Saudi royal family, some of the Emiratis, the Qataris, and Putin could be richer, because no one can calculate the amount of money that Putin has stolen and siphoned off from the Russian people, or how much of the oil and gas profits just go directly into his pocket, and so on and so on and so on. Different story for a different day. So now that we know what oligarchy looks like, what does fascism look like? Jeff, what the hell are you talking about? Here's what fascism looks like. Let me find the story. I think it would be better if I read the story. Here it is, popped right up. USAID security leaders, USAID security leaders on leave after trying to keep Musk from classified information. That sink in for everybody? Shall I read that again? It's an article from the Associated Press dated today. It is written by Ellen Nickmeyer. Dateline, Washington. Trump administration has placed two top security chiefs at the U.S. Agency for International Development on leave after they refused to turn over classified material in restricted areas to Elon Musk's government inspection teams. A current and a former U.S. official told the Associated Press on Monday members of Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, eventually did gain access Saturday to the aid agency's classified information, which includes intelligence reports, the former official said. Musk's DOGE crew lacked high enough security clearance to access the information. So the two U.S. aid security officials, John Voorhees and Deputy Brian McGill, believed themselves legally obligated to deny access. The gentlemen are correct. If I can't pass a background check, I don't get to see classified information. The current and former U.S. officials had knowledge of the incident and spoke on condition of anonymity, or else Trump would publish their names and they would start getting death threats because they were not authorized to share the information. So the Associated Press learns this via leak, very similar to the first Trump administration, where the only time we ever learned what the hell they were doing is when someone leaked it. Musk on Sunday responded to a Twitter post about the news by saying USAID is a criminal organization. Time for it to die. He followed with multiple additional posts about the agency. Here's what fascism looks like. An oligarch didn't get what he wanted, so he had a hissy fit. And Trump, being owned by Musk, removed the roadblocks for him to drive through. Remember what I just read in the article. The so-called government inspectors. Let us remember that DOGE is not an actual official government agency. It was not created by an act of Congress. I have no idea how it's being funded. If it is being funded with government money, it would be illegal in the way that it's being funded. Congress holds the purse strings. Congress decides how much money will be spent on any given thing, when it will be spent, and by whom. The controversy earlier in the week when the Trump administration said it was going to halt all government spending is that it was illegal. Congress allocated the money by law. The executive branch, under the Constitution, is charged with the duty of spending that money exactly as Congress outlined. Except now, you have this extra governmental agency. DOGE is not an official government agency. It was not created by Congress. It is a private entity. If, and I say if because I don't know, and I don't make it a habit to tell you things that I don't know. It's irresponsible. If DOGE is being funded with government money, it's illegal and unconstitutional. The people that work for it have not passed federal background checks. It is illegal for them to see classified information. What the two gentlemen did was 100% correct. But because Musk had a hissy fit, because mommy wouldn't buy him a candy bar at the checkout line at the grocery, he got the Trump administration to force these people aside so he could get classified information. That's when we take the step beyond oligarchy into fascism. If you don't do what I say, you will suffer. That's dictatorial. That's totalitarian. That's when oligarchy becomes fascism. And this is exactly why I maintain to this minute that we did this November 4th of 2024 to democracy. Bye-bye. Good to know you. Had you for about just shy of 250 years, but we're tired now. And enough of our fellow country people have decided, no, we don't want democracy anymore. And enough of them voted. Because Trump told us all this is exactly what he was going to do. Everyone who worked at the FBI who took part in any investigations of Trump have been fired. All the inspector generals of all government departments have been fired. The top management staff of the Department of Justice has been fired. All government workers have been emailed illegally from the Trump administration saying, if you retire, we'll buy you out, give you a nice severance. It's illegal because it violates their union contract. And Congress hasn't allocated the money to buy these people out. Here's where the fascism comes. Because the people who are now going to populate government are no longer loyal to the country. They're not loyal to you or me. They're loyal to Musk and Trump and what they want. Because these folks have been deluded into thinking that somehow they're going to share in the riches. If I just go along, Trump will make me rich too. Except no, he won't. Musk didn't get $500 billion by sharing. I never say that anyone must agree with me. I'm not that smart. Can you understand now why I say to you, democracy, if it isn't dead, it sure as hell is in a coma. And the life support equipment is on a pretty weak electrical fuse and could blow at any minute. We are a pretty firmly entrenched oligarchical fascist state at this point. The rich own and run everything. They have bought government. They've owned the Republican Party for probably since Reagan, definitely since George W. Bush, arguably going back to Reagan or Nixon. They own the former party known as Republicans. It's now the Trump Party. There are no Republicans anymore. And the Republican Party doesn't exist. They just haven't changed the name yet. Trying to keep some of the old branding so you don't get scared. So you don't know exactly what's happening to you. Not for you, but to you. But Republicans, as you knew them, no longer exist. Even the shit Republicans, the George W. Bush Republicans, the Karl Roves of the world. Even the semi-nut Republicans, the Rick Perrys of the world. Even Louis Gohmert. My goodness, even Jim Jordan almost looks sane at this point. Well, Musk runs pretty much everything now. If he wants something, it'll get done. What we're going to have to talk about Tuesday, really, are these concocted tariffs that Trump has put into place against Mexico, Canada, and China. And I'll tell you who's laughing all the way to the bank is Putin. Putin has wanted to tear apart the Atlantic Alliance. He has already driven a wedge through Trump between the U.S. and NATO and the U.S. and the United Kingdom. Now he's breaking apart our own continent. And the further he can drive a wedge between the U.S. and China, it drives China closer to Russia. Now, they've already signed economic and mutual defense pacts, but it drives China further into the Russian sphere, such as it is. And Tuesday, we'll have to talk more about that. What tariffs really are, how they actually do and can work, and how they won't work the way Trump has implemented them. Canada, by the way, has instituted a retaliatory 25% tariff on all American goods. I'm sure that'll be great for the economy. Sure, it'll be great for prices. Remember when he was going to lower prices? Remember that? The part I can't quite figure out yet, and that I can't quite put my finger on, Teslas are made in China. They're now going to be subject to an import tax. Tariff. American oil companies have huge investments in Canada. They take oil from the Canadian tar sands, flow it through pipelines that run the entire, not length, I guess width, height, if you will, of the United States from the Canadian tar sands normally to New Orleans, where they're refined into crude oil and shipped overseas. All the waste and sludge, chemicals, toxins, and all just are, they can stay in New Orleans. It's a black city anyway, who cares? And then we ship those products overseas at tremendous profit. They will now be subject to a tariff because they came in from Canada. And I suspect they would be subject to another tariff when the countries in most of the Canadian tar sands oil goes to Asia. Not all of it, but most. They'll put retaliatory tariffs up as well, so then that'll spike the price of that. So the billionaires that own Trump can't really be too happy about these tariffs. Putin is, because it helps drive wedges between the United States and our longest of allies, the countries on our own continent, our neighbors. I posted a map earlier today on that other side of information, which I will try to find very quickly because we're running out of time. Because it keeps doing this crap to me. Keep sending me to the wrong place. If I can find that map, I'd be really happy. Where is that map? Put it up that why? Just put it up. Not long ago. New post. There's a map on our home group Facebook page, that other side of information. I know I put it here. I'm not sure why I can't find it because I know I shared it. I did. There it is. That shows the number one trading partner for every state in the country. Only 1, 2, 3, 6 states or territories, their number one export partner is not Canada, Mexico, or China. Meaning that 42 states, their number one export country is Canada, Mexico, or China. Exactly who Trump put tariffs on, and who will now put retaliatory tariffs on us. There's a couple of oddball ones in here. Brazil happens to be number one out of Florida. Belgium happens to be number one out of Delaware. I'm not sure I can explain that one. France is number one from Connecticut. Hong Kong, number one from Utah. Can't explain that, to be honest with you. The United Arab Emirates is the number one export partner from D.C. Probably former administration officials who are taking lobbying contracts. But anyway, so for 42 states, oh no, Australia out of Hawaii. So in 42 different states, their number one export partner, meaning the country they export the most stuff to, is either China, Mexico, or Canada. Here in Pennsylvania, it's Canada. In New Jersey, it's Canada. New York, Canada. We happen to have a lot of listeners in the Oregon. Your number one export partner is China. The poorest states in the Union: Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, all Canada. The great white bastion of South Carolina, still fighting the Civil War. China is your number one export partner. They're now all going to put retaliatory tariffs on you. Can't wait for your red state economies to collapse. And they will. Because this is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. And I have to admit, I can't quite put the two things together. How the billionaires who own Trump are going to be happy about their companies being subject to these tariffs, these across the board buckshot, scattershot tariffs. We'll see how long the tariffs last when corporate profits begin to shrink. We'll see how long they last. I have to tell you, I'd probably have to think about this for a couple more days as to how Trump, on the one hand, would hand over classified access to Musk, who owns him, but yet also subject Musk's companies to tariffs. Not sure how those two things go together. We'll see how long. I bet you his access to classified information lasts quite a bit longer than the tariffs. That's all we have time for tonight. I told you it was going to be a short program. I must go fulfill my duties as a state committee person. Where the hell is my Gmail so I can log into the Zoom here? I must go fulfill my duties, my elected duties, which mean a great deal to me. I'm very honored by them. I'm honored by the trust that was put in me, and so I'm going to need to go to the Zoom here. But please remember, we will be back on Tuesday, barring anything unforeseen. We'll be back on Tuesday with TKE tonight. Very excited to say that we will be on Hot 101 now for the TKE tonight's Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 p.m. So barring anything unforeseen, we will see you back here on Tuesday from 8 p.m. Now, did I get this wrong? That this starts at 7? Yeah, no, it's supposed to start at 7. Okay. You say the Zoom isn't open yet. I hit it wrong, but it should be opening. So that's that for it's all that we have time for tonight. Now, broadcast schedule update, so on. So you know what I'm saying, because George happened to mention it there in the chat, and he is correct. Coming up immediately after our sign off here on Hot101.net, the music returns. Need a break from politics? Stay right here at Hot101.net. Listen to the music. On GCPR, the pre-show of the Villain's View starts around 8:30. Show goes into full gear from 9 p.m. Conversations with Teen Nathan at GCPR, 11 p.m. Thomas kicks off your broadcast work week tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. A steaming hot pot of the sound of coffee. It sounds really gross every time I say it, and I say it anyway because I'm a child, because they think it's funny. So I say it that way anyway. He doesn't think it sounds odd. I do. I think it sounds goofy. But anyway, whatever. I think it's funny because like I said, I'm a child. I'm immature. I'm an immature teenager. And then we return Tuesday evening, from 8 p.m. By the way, please remember, Tuesdays on GCPR from 6 p.m. is George and Gilbert with the help desk. We all have devices. We all have computers. We have tablets. We have phones. If you have computer questions, this program doesn't work. That program doesn't work. I can't log in. I can't save this. George, I need to buy a new computer. What should I be looking for? Have either of you tried this new video game? What do you think of it? The help desk. GCPR, Tuesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. They can take your phone calls, your comments, your questions, live on the air. It is literally a help desk. When you're at work and your computer craps out, who do you call? Call the help desk. GCPR has a help desk. It's George from our program and Gilbert from the Villain's View, Tuesdays from 6 p.m. and I want you to be a part of it. 6 p.m. Tuesdays here on GCPR. So again, music coming up right after us on Hot 101. Thomas and the Villain's View from 8:30. We will see you again, barring anything unforeseen, Tuesday evening from 8 p.m. right after the help desk. Thank you for being here. Thanks for sharing all our good news with you about, or allowing us to share all our good news with you about new computers and Hot 101. We will see you Tuesday evening. Until then, for everyone at GCPR, Thomas, Gilbert, Gambit, everybody, I can't even name everybody, our roster is growing so large. From everyone at Hot 101, DJ Earl and DJ Lex, and the entire Hot101.net family. For everyone at the Kennedy Effect, George, Lynn, Kristen, Daisy the dog, and of course April Riddick, I'm Jeff Kennedy. We've done about all the damage we can do for one night. We'll see you again Tuesday evening. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other. And don't forget, Hot 101 will see you on Tuesday night as well. You can be with us then as well. We'll see you then. Take care of yourselves. Have a peaceful work week. See you Tuesday.